Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lance Wallnau Show. And thank you, Mercedes Sparks, for joining me today. This particular episode, with my finger extended across Mercedes' face for those that missed it, is going to be an important show for everyone. You don't want to miss any of it. I was listening live as Brother Steve Bannon delivered to Charlie Kirk the news that some 40 FBI subpoenas were released against Donald Trump associates as the Department of Justice continues its embarrassing, naked, butt-naked display of politicizing and weaponizing the intelligence community against the political enemies of the Democrats. And so dozens of subpoenas have now, according to CBN, been issued related to the January 6th investigation. 40 subpoenas in the last week to Trump's inner circle. This move seems to be an aggressive expansion into the criminal investigation of the January 6th. What is the criminal investigation of the January 6th? Nothing. None of Trump's associates were guilty of doing anything. But I'll tell you what is suspicious. The pipe bombs that were placed outside of the Democrat National Headquarters, where they have footage of the mysterious person who placed those pipe bombs in a bush and then sat down and used their cell phone. Now, in the age of digital triangulation, the FBI was able to identify every single person that with a cell phone that went into the Capitol on January 6th. They traced them within 24 hours back to their hometown, knocked on their doors. FBI's there to let them know, you're in trouble, buddy. Why couldn't they use that vast digital expertise, including the video footage they have of the mysterious pipe bomb planter outside the Democratic headquarters? Why wouldn't they triangulate and find who that pipe bomb person is? You know why? Because they're probably related to the person who leaked the Supreme Court case out there, right before the Roe v. Wade decision. You do remember that one. It's another demonstration of the expertise of our intelligence community. Its frightening capacity to demonstrate complete incompetence when it doesn't want to find something. It's like, where's Hunter Biden's laptop? What's on the laptop? Who is the pipe bomb person, since they were on a cell phone and you see them on the phone on a park bench outside the Democratic Party headquarters? And then Ray Epps, the strange utterance he has, a little mistake on his part with all the things he said. Hey, I was there getting out there early on the streets to see if there were any pipe bombs out there, for instance. And so he mentions it. How did he even know about their existence, I wonder? But I remember that day when I heard about the pipe bombs, I said, somebody's doing overkill. This was like too many people trying to make sure the insurrection looked bad. So anyway, we're getting the 40 people, though, who were probably not even in Washington, but were, or maybe they were there watching Trump's speech from their condo. So they weren't. The fact is, these are not people that were even, if any of them had broken into the Capitol and were seen on the Capitol steps, guarantee their name would already been out there. But nah, they're just going after Trump's inner circle to let him know in some desperate shakedown way that we're the FBI. And this is the part that annoys me about them. They don't have a reason for delivering 40 subpoenas for criminal activity, but they're so desperate to try to make a case before the midterms. They have to wrap up the January 6th thing. So they're putting it out there. So it's like, and we just went and got 40 more names of Trump's inner circle. And we just went out there and delivered the subpoenas to them, not even to their lawyers. We knocked on the door. The FBI was right there to let them know, we got your number and your address, buddy. Well, enjoy your day while you have it. Reminds me of that scene in Gladiator where Maximus is talking to Commodus, and he says, enjoy your moment now. It's about to end.
Yeah.
And I believe it is about to. By the way, I'm coming back again and saying it was Gorsuch. You guys got to read between the lines here. Where's mine? I was just reading a minute ago where Gorsuch was complaining. Oh, here we go. Gorsuch considers the leak a threat to the judicial process. When Justice Gorsuch on Thursday said it's terribly important we identify that leaker, I hope soon it's, hey, he's looking over at Justice Roberts and saying, don't shove this under the carpet. I mean, how many weeks ago did this happen? You only got 16 people, knucklehead. You got to go check out with all the investigative apparatus of an $8 billion intelligence community, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, whatever. Why can't they figure out which one of the 16? I mean, it's obvious. Just go to the emails. They already know who it is. They just don't want to reveal it because I think it's a liberal clerk. Is this too much today, Mercedes?
No, I think it's good.
Is it okay that I say this? I'm just ventilating. You guys understand it's all connected. Do you see the connecting of the dots? Do you see the dots connecting?
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of, though, too? You say this from time to time, and I know this is our RAV program, but we do this podcast every single day, and we do some spiritual content. You talk about this, like when there's a deliverance in a person, when a demon's coming out of a person, you get all sorts of crazy stuff that happens. They start screaming, they start manifesting. You brought this up on a podcast recently, that when this happens in systems as well, there's a manifestation, there's a display that comes out. And I just think about that when you talk about all these people that were just raided by the FBI. You got Steve Bannon walking around in handcuffs. You've got President Trump being raided by the FBI.
This is all the abuse of power. This is the Leviathan of a corrupt intelligence community, corrupt judiciary, and corrupt media, trying to humiliate and embarrass and destroy the martyrs of a movement that is seeking freedom. And then you've got ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is just, we got this Hillary Clinton. Is this lady never going to go away? My gosh. How many acts does she have in this cosmic drama?
She says she's never running again.
Like the Night of the Living Dead. She keeps popping out of a coffin and coming back out and stalking us in a pantsuit. And I say that in love. Anyway, listen, she goes, it's so important to fight extreme and political violence. It's so important to fight extremism and political violence, says the mother of Antifa, BLM, 200 cities in flames, 2,000 policemen in a hospital, $2 billion worth of damage. She says, when 9/11 happened, we rebuilt New York. We have to think, and I've been reminded about how important it is to try and deal with extremism, especially when it uses violence to try to achieve political and ideological goals. Hint, hint, MAGA violence. MAGA violence. There was no violence really to speak of on January 6th. I'll tell you what, there's more violence than the inauguration of Donald Trump when they firebombed my limo. Clinton credited President Joe Biden for sounding the alarm about the threats to our democracy. There's a small, now listen to this. This is what you call projection. If you're a psychologist, or if you're a battered woman, if you've been in a marriage with a man who is an idiot, who's abusive and threatening to you and your children, who says that you're the problem, you'll recognize projection when you hear it. Here's Hillary. And she's not much different than the psychological lunacy that represents a high number of officials in the Democratic Party. Here's how she describes, think about this. This is their Antifa, their BLM, their brown shirts, but she says it's you shofar-blowing Catholics and charismatics. You ready? There's a small but very vocal, very powerful, very determined minority who wants to impose their views on all the rest of us. And it's time for everybody, regardless of party, to say, no, that's not who we are as Americans. Let me talk to you about this. This small, very vocal, powerful minority was pulling down statues. I saw them. They want to impose their will on the rest of us. They'll burn down your pregnancy center. They'll burn down your church. They'll decapitate your little Catholic statue, because it's a small minority that want to impose their violent little will on the rest of us. I have not seen one charismatic prayer group, one group of Amish people attending the Reawaken America tour in Mannheim, Pennsylvania, who can approximate the description of what Hillary Clinton has. I know I've only got 2 minutes left. I think President Biden owes half the country an apology. I think he owes half the country an apology. Jean-Pierre, his spokesperson, MAGA Republicans are an extremist threat to our democracy. MAGA Republicans are an extremist threat, you say? I can't wait to the midterms. Hey there, you just listened to an excerpt. That's a little bit of the podcast. So if you want to get the whole thing, because there's a lot more content there, go to lancewallnau.com/podcast. And instead of getting an excerpt, you get the entire message. Mario Murillo and Lance Wallnau are coming together in a unique event. It's going to be at the Hertz Arena, October 24th and 25th in Florida. And we believe that this is going to be one of those special events that can actually make a massive difference in the trajectory of what's happening in America. I've seen the Reformation activity in government with Trump help to herald that. You've been tapping into revival in a form that is reminiscent of what we've been praying for years. The tent meetings, the signs, the wonders, verifiable miracles, and sinners coming out to hear the gospel. But this is even going to be different. This will be like a blending.
Yes, this is going to be nitro and glycerin, really. It's explosive because you see what's going to happen is the word fire. Let's take that. Fire. Fire that Elijah called down from heaven that proved that God was God of Israel. The fire that needs to fall to handle the immorality, the perversion, the depth of corruption in our country, that's the fire that's going to fall. What is the glory? It's signs, wonders, and miracles. Medically verified healings. People that are paralyzed and blind and with cancer being healed by the power of God. Fire and glory of the gospel being preached. People need to understand that they will stand before God to be judged. People need to know that Christ is the only way. And the miracles will prove the veracity of the gospel, and the fire that falls will create an army so that going out of this great arena will be an army that can truly change the nation.
There really is going to be an impartation, folks. I'm serious about this. I'm believing, Mario. I don't know how we can lay hands on that many people, but I believe that there's going to be something released in the atmosphere that will be like a tangible unction that people are going to carry it with them. And when you go out of that arena, out of that event, there's going to be prophetic words spoken. Words that are spoken. Some people don't understand. Some of the most profound prophetic utterance can be coming from the preaching or the teaching of the Word of God, because God is literally speaking to the nation. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like God himself no longer wants his church intimidated, bullied, and confused. I think the hour is here when we're going to see the body of Christ rising up like a mighty army. And all the anxiety I'm hearing in the news feeds right now about Christian nationalism, it's almost like the nervous Christians are telling me they're afraid something's coming. That tells me something's coming, because the devil knows God has an army of saints that's about to rise up and push back against the gates of hell. FireandGloryTour.com. We already have 4,000 signed. Don't mess up. It's a free event, but you got to sign up to get in the arena.